So today's session is going to be hands-free. So yeah, it's a case of, look mum, no hands. I'm doing it because I've got a bit of a sore shoulder at the moment, but I do find that doing a few practices here and there that just take the weight away from your arms and wrists is quite nice, just to give you a bit of relief. So if you've got broken fingers, sore wrists, aches and pains in your elbows or upper arms, right up to your shoulder, this is a really good way to still get onto your mat and enjoy your yoga practice. So I hope you enjoy. So we're going to start this session down on the mat. If you come into a seated position that's comfortable for you, I'm going to use a block today. So just to give my hips a little bit more space to relax. If you don't have a block, you can always use a cushion or a book, anything just to lift you up and just give you a little bit of space so your knees can drop down. And once you're comfortable, you can close your eyes here and just start to focus on your breathing. So you're breathing through your nose. And just starting to let your mind relax. So your list of things to do, all those thoughts that have been rushing around your head, you can just let them drift away. You don't need to worry about those now. And bring your focus to your breath coming in and out of your nose. And paying attention to your body, feeling your seat bones as they ground down towards the earth. And just checking that you have a nice posture. Your back is long, lengthening up towards the sky. And your legs are relaxed, your knees are dropping down towards the earth. Just taking a couple more breaths, letting everything settle down. And with your next exhale, just dropping your chin to your chest, letting your head be heavy. Then inhaling up, looking up towards the ceiling. And exhaling down, chin to chest. And inhaling up. Just stopping at the top of your inhale. And from here, we're going to draw some slow circles in the air, using your nose. Just getting some movement into your neck, nice and gentle. And taking those circles in the opposite direction. And then coming back to center, coming to stillness. And we'll go through some cat-cows in our seated position. So as you exhale, you're going to pull your tummy in around your shoulders, let your head drop down. As you inhale, rolling your shoulders back, pushing your chest forwards, lifting your head up last. And then exhale again, pulling your belly in towards your spine as you breathe out all of the air from your lungs. And inhaling, coming up. And you can just do these movements to the rhythm of your own breath. Just starting to feel your vertebrae moving in a chain. And just paying attention to see if there's anywhere that feels a bit tight. any stiffness, any little spots that might just need a little bit of extra love. And coming back to stillness in the center, just checking in again, making sure that you have equal weights on your seat bones, feeling that length in your back as you pull the top of your head up to the ceiling. And when you inhale, you can really try and exaggerate that lengthening feeling, creating space all through your back. And on your next exhale, going into a twist, so taking your right hand over to your left knee, taking your left hand behind, and just a gentle twist now, just feeling that compression around your lower abdomen. And as you inhale here, you're thinking again about lengthening, stretching your spine up. And as you exhale, maybe there's just a little bit more twist that you can get around your lower abdomen. On your next inhale, coming back to center, just settling back. And then exhaling to the opposite side, taking your left hand to your right knee. Again, lengthening when you inhale, so reaching the top of your head up. And as you exhale, maybe just twisting a little bit more. On your next exhale, coming back to center, bring your hands to your knees. And we're just going to roll our shoulders here, if that's comfortable for you to do today with your shoulders. Even though we're not doing a lot of arm work today, it's still good just to make sure they're warmed up with a little bit of mobility. And just taking those little circles the opposite direction. Coming to stillness, and we're going to just start making circles with our upper body. So you're pushing your chest forward as you come forward, and then rounding your back a little bit as you go back. So similar to your cat-cow movements, but this with a bit of a circle, just warming up all those muscles around your waist. And taking those circles in the other direction, pushing your chest forwards, and then rounding your shoulders as you go back. And just feeling all that amazing movement through your back. Coming back to center, and we're going to roll onto our knees. So you can move your block out of the way. And just coming down into our child's pose now. So dropping your bottom back towards your heels, stretching your fingers out. So this is an active child's pose. So we're just getting that nice gentle stretch under the armpits. Trying to encourage your bottom to drop down towards your heels. Resting your forehead on the mat. And just returning to your breath, feeling your back expand here. Every time you inhale. And on your next inhale, gently rolling up, letting your head be the last thing that comes up. You're coming all the way up onto your knees, making sure that pelvis is neutral, your tummy is switched on, your chest is open. And here, just resting your hands on your hips, we're just going to tilt our head up towards the sky, just opening your shoulders. So this isn't a lower back bend, your back's nice and straight and long. You're just trying to get a little stretch across your chest here. The most gentle camel that you've ever done. And coming back to centre, and we'll take our left foot forward onto the mat. Coming into our runner's lunge, you might need to move your leg back a little bit to make it more comfortable for you, and you can rest your hands on the ground just lightly for balance, or if you want to keep them up by your waist, that's fine as well, whatever's comfortable for you with your hands and arms today. So just leaning forward, and then as you exhale, coming back, bending those toes towards you, flexing that foot, straightening that front leg. Then inhaling forwards, coming into your runner's lunge, really feeling that stretch in your thigh. Exhaling back, pulling those toes back towards you, flexing your foot. Then inhaling forward, runner's lunge, pushing that knee forwards. Your chest is open, your shoulders rolling down your back. Exhaling back one more time. And this time just dropping your head down towards your leg a little bit more, so you just feel a slightly deeper stretch, not overdoing it. And then inhaling forwards, back into your runner's lunge. And from here, we're just going to straighten that back leg, twist round into a side lunge, and walking now from side to side in this side lunge. So we're just really trying to get into the hips now, waking everything up. You don't need to use your hands on the ground. You can take the weight completely off your hands. You can put your hands on your waist if you want to find somewhere to put them. This is really good for your ankle mobility as well. And trying to drop your tailbone down and keep your chest open to the room. And this time we're going to come back to the mat with the other leg to the front, taking your left knee back down to the mat, coming into your runner's lunge. And as you exhale, pressing back, straightening that leg, pulling those toes towards you to feel that stretch under your leg. And inhaling forwards, runner's lunge. Exhaling back. Inhaling forwards. Exhaling back one last time, and this time just maybe dropping your head down towards your leg so you just get that slightly deeper stretch. Really still flexing those toes back towards your body. And inhaling forwards, straightening that back leg, twisting into a side lunge, and again, just going from side to side. You can keep your hands in prayer at heart center. Just waking up the muscles around your hips. And now going back over, so your left foot's forwards, your back leg straight out. We're going to come up into your high lunge. And just taking a couple of breaths here, keeping your hands either at heart center in prayer or keeping your hands on your waist, wherever's comfortable. Pushing the weight through that back heel, keeping that leg nice and long. And then taking your hands by your sides and exhaling down, lengthening your head away from your hips. Then inhaling back to center, bringing your hands back to heart, and then gently straightening that front leg, dragging that back toe along the ground. And here, just taking your balance, taking a minute, we're going to come into eagle legs. So you can keep your hands on your waist again or by heart center. And then either keeping your foot on the mat, or if you're comfortable, you can hook that toe around your leg and then gently bending down into your eagle pose. Finding something to focus on to help you keep your balance. And breathing through your nose. And gently coming back out, unwrapping. And I'm going to get you to keep your leg up in the air. Here, we're just going to tip forwards, coming in to a warrior three. So your back leg is out straight, your foot is flexed. So if there was a wall, you'd be able to put your foot flat up against the wall, and you're trying here to keep your hips nice and level, so you're not twisting that right hip up into the air. And then gently bringing that leg all the way forwards again, this time taking it out straight. For 3, 2, 1, bending. And this time we're just going to step behind into a lunge. Now you can put your foot down halfway, if that's more comfortable for you, and then step back, or you can just go straight all the way back, whichever works for you. And then taking a breath here in your high lunge, just checking. I need to wiggle my back foot out a bit to get my stance. You're trying to get this front thigh nice and parallel to the mat, really pushing back through that back heel, pushing down through the mounds of your toes and relaxing your shoulders. Nice. And bringing your hands to your hips, we're just going to straighten up, face forwards, with your feet pointing either straight forward or even a little bit inwards, if that's comfortable for you. Here, just thinking about inhaling to lengthen. Feel the space that you're creating through your spine, and keeping your hands on your hips. We're going to exhale to a halfway position. From this halfway position, again, you're really stretching your head out away from your hips. You're looking straight down, so the back of your neck is nice and long, keeping your tummy muscles engaged. And then as you inhale, coming back to center. Again, thinking about the length in your body. And then exhaling, this time we're going to go all the way down, leading with your chest. So you're trying to keep your back as straight as you can for as long as you can. And here you can rest your hands on the mat if that's comfortable for you. And let your head feel heavy here. And maybe just nod a little bit, maybe sway a little bit. Just any movements that feel comfortable for you. And you can keep a little micro bend in the knees, just so that you're not completely locking out your knees when you do your forward folds, just to protect all those tendons at the back of your leg. And then gently just walking over to your right foot, and here, rather than using your hands to pull you across, your hands are just resting there. You're using the muscles to pull you over. And then gently
Going to the opposite leg, coming over to the left leg again, not using the hands to pull you over, really focusing on using those muscles to move your body. Then coming to centre, keeping that little micro bend in the knees, lengthening your head away from your waist, and as you inhale, gently coming back up into your centre. From here, we're going to twist around. So our right leg is at the front, coming in to your high lunge. So again, just checking in with your position, bringing your hands to heart center, trying to get that thigh parallel to the ground, pushing back through that back heel. Your tummy is active, it's pulled in, relaxing those shoulders, and just thinking about that length through your spine. Gently putting the weight on your front foot, getting your balance, and then we're going to wrap that leg around the front. You can keep your toe on the ground if you want, or we're going to full eagle legs, just hooking your toe behind and gently bending down. Finding something to focus on to help you keep your balance here. Then inhaling and wrapping that leg, lifting that leg up, and gently tipping forwards. Oh, I'm tipping to the side. Tipping forwards into your warrior three. And if you do come out of your balance, it's never a problem. You just gently bring yourself back in. So pushing your heel away from your hips, trying to keep your hips nice and level. Stretching, and you're looking straight down, really stretching your head and heel away from one another. Then inhaling, bringing that leg all the way forwards, taking it out in front. Just holding there for 3, 2, 1. Then bending that knee back, leaning forward a little bit as you step back into your high lunge. And again, just working on your position, getting comfortable. That front legs pretty much parallel to the ground, pushing through that back heel. Relaxing your shoulders and remembering to breathe through your nose. And then we'll straighten our legs again, coming back into our center. And now we're just going to point our feet so they're sticking outwards towards the edges of the room. Bringing your hands back to center. And exhale down, coming in to your goddess pose. And just holding here, just letting your tailbone drop down towards the ground, lengthening your back, pushing your knees out so you're really opening your hips. Just for a couple more seconds. And inhaling up. Having a little shake out there, loosening everything off. From here, we're going to turn your right foot, so it's parallel to the back of your mat, and put your left foot, so it's straight forwards, coming into our warrior two. With your warrior two, your front heel wants to be in line with the arch of your back foot. And this is your widest stance. You might need to just move your foot out a little bit. And bending your front knee. Again, you're trying to get that thigh parallel to the mat, and this is a real hip opener. So if your shoulders are comfortable enough to do this, you can come into full warrior two with your arms up. If you're resting your shoulder, your arms today, maybe rest them on your legs, and just think about using that hand to remind you to keep that knee pushing out. And also your back hand is reminding you to be rolling this back thigh out, because you're really trying to open your hips up here. So the more I open up at the back, my knee comes in. So it's a constant balance between the two. Really pushing down through that back edge of your back foot. Nice. And straightening that front leg, just stepping the back foot in, a couple of heel toes. Inhaling to lengthen the body again. And as we exhale, coming down, dropping your left hand down towards the ground. If you want to take your right hand up, straight into the air, you can do. Otherwise, you can leave that hand on your hip, or even drop it slightly behind your back. You're really thinking about opening your shoulders to the sky, opening your chest. And thinking about lengthening your head away from your hips. You're trying to elongate both sides of your body so you're not collapsing in. This is a really lovely strong pose. You're still opening up those hips. And then gently inhaling up, swapping our feet round. So your right foot is pointing away, your left foot becomes your back foot, it's parallel to the back of your mat. And before we go into our warrior two, maybe just widening that stance a little bit, and gently coming forward into your warrior two, trying to get that front leg nice and parallel, taking your arms up if that's comfortable for you and looking over that middle finger. Otherwise, just using your hands to remind you push that knee out and roll that back thigh out. At the same time, you're dropping your tailbone down, your shoulders are back, your chest's open, you're trying to elongate your spine. You're pushing your weight down through the back edge of that back foot, really opening those hips, really getting the muscles to work here. Can you drop a little bit lower? Get that front leg really straight. And then inhaling up, straightening that front leg, walking that back foot in a little bit. Inhaling to lengthen the body, and then exhaling, dropping that front hand down, opening the chest to the sky. If you're taking your arm up above, you're really trying to stack your shoulders so one shoulder is directly above the other. Otherwise, maybe dropping that hand slightly behind your back, just to encourage you to keep your upper body nice and open, and thinking about lengthening your head away from your hips, so you're really stretching out your body. And inhale, coming back to center, and we'll walk our feet together. Maybe walk out your feet, give the ankles a little wiggle. And from here, just coming into your Tadasana, now you can have your feet hip distance apart, or you can have them together. But in your Tadasana, everything's switched on, so you're pushing down through all four corners of your feet. And your leg muscles are active here. So you're pulling your knees up to really activate your thighs. Your tailbone's tucked in, you're not sticking your bottom out. Your stomach muscles are engaged. Your chest is open. Shoulders are back. Your arms are switched on. Your fingers are spread wide so your hands are active. And your chin is tucked in enough to feel the length in the back of your neck. And you're just lengthening your body upwards. And just returning here, focusing on your breath. Feeling that air coming through your nose, rushing down, filling your lungs. And just noticing as we stand here, your breath settling down a little bit. And on your next exhale, just coming into a forward fold, letting your chest lead the way, so you're stretching your back, you're keeping your back nice and straight. Taking a little micro bend into the knees. And just maybe swaying side to side. Just letting everything stretch out. You're just creating space all through your vertebrae here. And then from here, we're going to bend our knees. Take your hands back a little bit. And then inhaling up, coming into a chair. So if you are more comfortable, you can just keep your hands at heart center. You can, if your shoulder will allow, if that's comfortable for you, you can take your arms up by your ears, really stretching your fingers away and just checking that you can wiggle your toes. So the weight is in the rest of your feet, but not in your toes. And you can see your toes when you look down. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. And then straightening your legs, going back into your forward fold. And in this forward fold, I want you to really think about switching on those leg muscles. So your legs are active. And just think about really pulling your head as far away from your hips as you can, at the same time as keeping your back lovely and straight. It's all about creating that length. And again, you're not using your hands to pull you towards your legs. And just focusing here on your breath. Keeping all those muscles working in your legs. And on your next inhale, coming all the way up, rolling your shoulders once we get to the top. Just waking everything up, taking any movements that feel good for you. And we're going to take our feet wide again, with our feet pointing out if that's comfortable, as we go down into our Malasana. So here in our little yogi squat, my hips are quite tight, so my feet tend to point out, but if you can bring yours straight to the camera, straight to the screen, that's fine. Do whatever feels good for you. But in this Malasana, if it feels okay for your arms, you can push your elbows against your knees, dropping your tailbone down towards the mat, really trying to lengthen your body. Otherwise, you can just keep your hands relaxed near the ground. And actually, this is quite good because then you can think about pushing your own knees, using your muscles. So you're really using your muscles to push your knees away from your body. It just makes you realize how much, when you're in this pose, how much work your elbows do when you push them against your knees. So it just makes you a little bit aware. So really dropping your tailbone, trying to lengthen your back. Nice. And then from here, we're just going to sit down on the mat. Coming round. And we're going to go into boat. So getting comfortable in your boat pose. You can keep your hands on your thighs if that's comfortable for you. You can have your knees bent, or you can straighten your knees and just leave your hands relaxing or keep them up, whatever feels comfortable for you today. And we're just going to hold our boat and really keeping that tummy pulled in. Breathing through your nose here, feeling your legs starting to work. I can definitely feel mine working. And then, coming in. Okay, should we go again? Okay. See how shaky I get. So, taking your legs up, straightening them. Ooh. And just holding here. So for 3, 2, 1.5, 1. Oh, okay, I felt that. Nice. So I'll let you relax a little bit after that. Gently taking your back all the way onto the mat. And we're going to do some bridges from here. So you want your knees to be and feet to be about hip distance apart, and your fingertips should just be about able to touch your heels. Sometimes when we do this, your knees tend to splay out, so it can be good to put something like the yoga block in between your knees just to keep them nice and close in, if that's something that you found yourself doing. So before we begin, just checking that your whole spine is pushed down into the mat. So you're really engaging your stomach muscles here. So as you inhale, we're going to start lifting from the hips and rolling up one vertebrae at a time until you come into a lovely bridge. So your head is nice and relaxed up here. There's no tension in your neck. So your hips and your legs are doing the work, and your glutes. And then as you exhale, letting your vertebrae come back down to the mat, one at a time. Again, letting your back be flat against the mat. And on the next inhale, rolling up one vertebrae at a time, keeping your tummy in nice and tight. Really feeling your glutes starting to work here. And then as you exhale, coming down one vertebrae at a time. And on our next bridge, we're just going to cross our left foot over our right leg before we go up. So again, making sure your back is pressed into the mat, and just being aware of seeing if this makes your pelvis tilt. Trying to keep your pelvis nice and level as we go. So inhaling up, taking your pelvis up, holding there at the top, and you can even put your hands up just to see how your pelvis feels, and just seeing if you can let that knee drop more to the side but without your pelvis twisting. And just holding there for 3, 2, 1. Exhaling all the way down to the mat. And swapping your legs over. So your right leg is coming over your left. And again, it's the same thing. You want to try and keep that pelvis nice and level. So as you inhale, starting to lift from the hips, rolling your vertebrae one by one off the ground,
really pushing your hips up high. Are they level? I think mine are a bit wonky. And then thinking about letting that knee drop out to the side, but without the pelvis dropping too much. And you should feel a stretch in the hips there, as well as working the glutes. You're keeping your glutes working to hold you up. And then exhaling one by one vertebrae down to the mat. Taking your feet back down to the mat, and then just windscreen wipering your legs from side to side. Just to release any tension in the back. And from here, we're just going to come back up. So seated on the mat, and we'll take one leg out in front, so taking your right leg out in front. Again, just thinking about feeling your seat bones really pushing down. You're elongating your body upwards. That foot that's far away is flexing back towards you, so you're pulling your toes back towards your body. And then crossing your left foot over your right leg, and we're just going to twist around. Again, I'm not using my arms, so keeping the arms rested. You're trying to use your muscles to twist around, so taking your left shoulder, really twisting that left shoulder back, looking over your left shoulder in that lovely twist, and keeping the length in your body. Then gently coming back to center, swapping over your legs. So your right leg is over your left leg. Again, not doing too much with the arms. And as you exhale, going into your twist. So twisting that right shoulder back behind and feeling that compression around your stomach. Keeping your stomach muscles pulled in and keeping that bottom foot flexed back towards you. So you're really pulling your toes back towards you. And again, not forgetting to keep that length in your body. And gently coming back to center, and we'll take our feet into a butterfly. So you're bringing your feet together, sole to sole. Again, if you want to sit on a block, if you've got tight little hips like me, that just gives you a bit of extra space to maneuver. Bit wobbly. And here again, lengthening the body upwards. You're trying to let your knees go down towards the ground. If you can, if you have got use of your hands, you can take hold of your feet. So you can either clasp your feet or you can almost sort of push your feet open as if you were opening a book. And we'll take a few breaths here. Just returning to that settled breath, feeling the air going in through your nose and deep into your lungs.
And from here, we're going to lie back down onto the mat, so gently coming onto the mat. Taking your legs up in the air. So you've got a 90-degree angle. And if it's comfortable, you can take your arms out, so like a T shape with your arms. And as you exhale, just dropping those knees over to one side, and you're pinning your shoulders down on the mat here. Looking away from your legs. This is a lovely stretch for your lower back. You're just trying to create some space. And as your breath relaxes, just feeling the muscles around your lower back relax into this stretch. And then inhaling your legs gently back to center. Just realigning, pushing both of your shoulders down into the mat. And then gently dropping your legs over to the opposite side. Your shoulders are pushing down into the mat. And again, just thinking about letting that lower back relax. Letting any tension go. And gently bringing your legs back to center, squeezing them in towards your chest, and then gently taking your feet down to the mat, taking your legs out straight, and bringing your hands down by your side. Taking your feet out to the edges of the mat and letting your toes fall away from your body. Your hands are facing upwards with your palms open, all your fingers relaxed as we come into our final Shavasana. Letting your breath begin to settle. And as you lie here, just being aware of the work that you've done, of the length that you've created, just reminding yourself how amazing our bodies are. And thanking yourself for coming to the mat today, despite any sort of shoulder or arm or wrist injuries, aches and pains. And letting your body relax. Letting all the tension go. and feeling like you could sink down into the earth. And just starting to move your hands and toes, getting some movement, maybe stretching your toes and fingers away, or taking your arms overhead if that's available to you, and really lengthening your body, stretching out, waking yourself up, ready to face the rest of your day. And gently moving over, rolling onto one side, just resting your head on your arm or your hand. And you can keep your eyes closed. Just gently beginning to reawaken here. And when you're ready, just pushing up, keeping your eyes closed, coming to a seated position, wherever's comfortable for you. And for the last time, you can feel your seat bones grounding down into the earth. You can feel that length through your spine. And just checking in with how you feel now that you've finished your practice and the difference that you've created in your body. And bringing your hands to heart center, coming forward. Namaste. Thank you for joining the practice today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope if you do have any wrist or shoulder aches and pains that worked and you were able to enjoy your practice. See you soon.